Hello, everybody. Excited utterance here. Hello, my name is. I am from Brisbane, Australia, and I'm here to give you some background on the Lehrmann versus Network 10 trial, which is happening here in Australia right now. And I'm going out to Twitter as well. If you're here in chat, feel free to say hello to me. If not, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to chitty chat, but welcome to just watch along. Hello, Dennis. It's early for you, I know, Dennis. Yes, it is, but there are people over on my side of the world who haven't gone to bed yet. So nice to see you, though, Dennis. So, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going through the last few days of testimony. And the reason I'm going to do that is it's been a hectic couple of days for me. I wanted to do this every day, and then I realized I really bit off a lot more than I could chew. um, and yeah, life really got away from me. And look, I'm just going to say something about what's happening with this. When I found out that this trial was going to be put on YouTube and live streamed, I got really excited. And I sent the link off to my friend Aussie. Um, it's Hayden. Hello, Mimsy. Early for you too. So good to see you though. Thank you for joining. Um, yeah, I sent a link off to him, and um, I started to watch it so excitedly. And my mum started to watch it, and it's so great to have a trial to watch with my mum that she's interested in. So it was really great, and it had a little Creative Commons note underneath it. So that generally means that it's okay to share it and watch it. And the link stayed up at the end of the Wednesday. And I thought, great, awesome. And because I'm so used to commenting on US trials that I figured that everything would be fine and we'd be able to watch it together as we do with the US trials. But that wasn't to be. There was an order from the judge saying that no, at the end of each day that the well, he didn't say this specifically because it just happened, but he said that no, there was to be no live streaming of the trial, restreaming of the trial, and basically, hello, Nikki. Um, Sorry you missed me yesterday. You fell asleep. Oh, no worries. You're so sweet. Um, yeah, he said there was to be no restreaming of the trial, no pictures, no audio, no vision. The only way to watch it would to be to watch it live on YouTube directly to yourself. So it was frustrating. It was frustrating because I suppose from my perspective, and like Hayden as well, I can't put words in his mouth, but he's already spoken on it himself. Um, Hello, Kim. Hey, you'll be back in 5? Cool, cool. You're an Aussie, so it's nighttime for you too. Good to see you though. Awesome. Yeah, come back in 5. Uh, yeah, he's spoken on it as well on his own channel. It's frustrating because we're so used to being able to just have a public discourse about these things, and but then again, we're used to being able to have a public discourse about American trials, not about Australian trials. So I suppose for a second we got a bit excited, and then it was like and it got kind of taken away. Um, so yeah, and then I sort of thought, okay, what would be really cool is if everyone sort of started watching it on the live stream, and then we talked about it on these catch ups that we're having. But it's really hard to get people interested in something that you can't all watch together. That's really tricky, especially when it's in different time zones and stuff. And it's just such a shame. I can't express my disappointment in this because this is a really interesting trial. It's really interesting. It's got so much to it. Lemon versus Network 10 is it's about a man who has not been found guilty of any crime ever. And the the media took a lady's allegation of SA, and broadcast it. And then, after a criminal trial where there was a mistrial, and then the prosecutor decided to drop the charge, he's now going and suing the media involved for defamation. And we do get to watch it, but unfortunately, we don't get to watch it all together. So, and you get, and you, it's a really good insight into the Australian judicial system and the way it works. So much shade is being thrown in that courtroom. It's so interesting to watch. It's really, really interesting. Oh, and uh, I love the way the barristers talk to each other. They're like, so my learned friend over here has referred to some documents. However, I would say to Your Honour that my learned friend should not be bothering Your Honour with such things. And then the learned friend will go, well, I will refer to what my learned friend said earlier and say that Your Honour should be bothered with such things. It's so it's just it's so like Rumpole of the Bailey. It's hilarious. Yeah, it is. It's very interesting, Ramsey. It's also really graphic. So the accusations are of rape, and I said that with a G. And I'm going to be going through. Yeah, welcome back, Kim. Um, I said that with a G, but there's today this man's accuser was on the stand, and she went into great detail about her accusations, and I'm not going to go back through them. There's plenty of news articles and things that talk in about her testimony in detail, and I don't want to go back through them. So, yeah, she was in tears today. She had to stop. There was a early lunch break today, because she was going back through all that stuff. All I can say though is this man has not been found guilty of that crime. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened, and I am really, really very much in favor, and it is the law that if you have not been found guilty of a crime, you are innocent. Not just in the eyes of the law, you must look at that person as being innocent. And unfortunately, I feel like here in this situation, this man has, and this lady as well. They've both been the how do you call it? They've both been used, I suppose, by the media, as fodder for salacious news stories with a political bent as well, because this all happened in Parliament House. And I would love to just see how much money the media has made out of all of this. Because really, when it comes down to it, she was only 20 when this happened. He was 24. They're now 20 and 24 and 28, respectively. Yeah, I just feel like when it comes down to it, it's the media have a lot to answer for, and that's what this trial's about. US is far ahead of us in terms of broadcasting trials. However, we do have some nice things here. I love the robes and wigs. There's something cool about. Yeah, you're so right, Kim. And they call them silks. I love the way they refer to the lawyers as silks. And yeah, I do love my learned friend. I love my learned friend. Yeah, there's a lot of this very old-fashioned kind of respect that happens in these courtrooms. It's so interesting to watch. Now, here we go. People who are here already, I'm going to post the link to tomorrow's live stream. So I've been talking about it already. The link is up. So I'll post it now, and you can go and get yourself put the notification on for tomorrow's live stream. There it is. So tomorrow's live stream on the Federal Court of Australia, YouTube. There it is there. Okay. So sad. We can't all just put it on to a live stream and have our talking heads next to it and watch it all together, but we can't. So I really absolutely recommend to you, even if you chuck it on just for an hour or so, um, the lawyers are so good. They are so, so good, top of their game, and the people involved, especially Network 10, they have money, and they have paid for top brass, absolute top brass. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's have a bit of a look. The other thing about this is the way um, the population of Australia have reacted to this. People are so passionate about what side they're on in this. And ooh, I'm sure I'm gonna. 'Cause I've gone out to Twitter tonight on this. Like I'm live streaming to Twitter right now. Ooh, I think I'm gonna get some tweets back after this. I haven't even really put much of an opinion out, except that I believe in the presumption of innocence. That's about it. And I've already received some pretty nasty comments. Um, yeah. So that being the case, hello, I'm Bronze. How are you? Hi. Good to have you here. This is a time that you can watch. It's nice. It's nice to have some Aussies here, and the Americans. It must be like what 4 a.m. or something for you guys. What are you doing up, or can you not sleep? I don't know if it's 4 a.m. It's pretty early. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Monday, and on Monday morning, the first thing that happened on Monday morning was quite interesting actually. Because we're in the middle of cross examination of the plaintiff. And on Monday morning, this lawyer here, and her name is Sue Crisantho, SC, which is senior counsel. She is Miss Wilkinson's counsel, this lady here in the pink suit. Now, she is the interviewer who interviewed Miss Higgins, which is the accuser, for on Network 10 on the project. And she's the counsel for her, right? But actually, Miss Wilkinson is not the party that is being sued in this case. However, she is being sued separately. So it's quite unusual that Miss Crisantho would want to cross-examine the plaintiff, right? So this is not actually Ms. Wilkinson's case to defend. She's a party, but she's not the party in this instance, right? But she's come along first up Monday morning, and the spotlight was on Wilkinson. And His Honour was asked to allow her to separately question Lehrmann because Wilkinson no longer works for Network 10, and she has faced direct allegations by Lehrmann. Right, so it's unusual. It's an unusual request. It's 6:43 a.m. You just woke up. It's not that early. Like I stream for you guys at 5 a.m. It's not unusual to wake up at 5 a.m. Okay. So His Honour said a duplicate cross-examination is likely to add rather than shorten the length of any hearing. Yeah, well, it would. And it seems to me likely to be more efficient for one cross-examiner to canvass all issues during the course of one cross-examination. Seems fair. Yeah. But you know what? He conceded. He allowed Ms. Crisantho to cross-examine Lehrmann. Now this is Mr. Lehrmann here. Um, and he'd already been on the stand being cross-examined by Dr. Matthew Collins, KC, which is King's Counsel. And he'd been on the stand being cross-examined by him for a day and a half by this point, and his cross-examination continued. This grueling cross continued all day, with several topics becoming sticking points. He had been through it already for quite a while, and it continued. It was nasty. I am not showing you my screen, and I'm an idiot. So this guy here, Lehrmann, grueling cross continued all day with several topics becoming sticking points. Why didn't you tell me I wasn't showing you the screen? You know I've got slides. Yeah, KC. I didn't even think about that, changing from QC. It happened immediately. We don't mind looking at you. Oh, that's so sweet. Um, I think the Americans are like too sleepy to notice that that I haven't got my slides up. Yeah, so Kim, interesting. I know people who work in Queensland DPP, and it happened like that day, like the day that the Queen passed. There was like a memo that went out, or memo, whatever you call it, and it's like, so as of right now, all Queen's councils are referred to as King's Council, and everything had to change, like all the letterheads and all the signs and all the little, gold boxes and stuff. Everything's King's. Sad day. I liked the Queen. I like Queenie. Okay, moving on. It doesn't sound as cool, hey? Doesn't sound as cool. All right. So, Lemon was questioned at length about his recollection of the meeting he had with his chief of staff, Fiona Brown, on the 26th of March 2019. And that's 3 days after the alleged incident. All right. So his failure to remember details of this meeting was pounced on by Collins as he put scenarios forward to Lemon. Right. So this Dr. Matthew Collins, King's Counsel, he literally wrote the book on defamation law in Australia, right? This guy is sharp. He is, and he has been ripping Lemon to shreds for days and days. It's been just ugh, intense to watch. And the people on Twitter, etc., and I'll show you this when I do Hearsay for Days on Sunday, um, our Monday, Australians. Um, the people on Twitter who don't like Lemon, they've been like, "Oh, he's done. That's it. He's it's all over for Lemon. That's it. He's done. How's it feel to be questioned by like a real lawyer? How's it feel to have all the truth come out and calling him every name under the sun and just like finally truth comes out, all this kind of stuff." And I got to admit, this Matthew Collins, KC, he's making him look bad. He's making him look like he's all the guilties. And you know what? This is not a criminal trial. It's not a criminal trial. But there'll never be a criminal trial because it's done. And everyone out there is looking at it like, okay, well, we can't have another criminal trial. So this is kind of it. And now we're watching all this testimony about this this grape that we've been talking about for the last 4 years. So we're watching it, we're hearing all about it. Now we get to make a decision in our own minds as to whether we really believe it or not. Mm. We should vote for a different king, Paul Hogan. That's not a knife. This is a knife. It's too close to KFC. Yeah, you're right. It sounds like KFC. It's finger looking good. Okay, moving on. All right. So Colin said, "You knew you thought it was a safe assumption that Ms. Brown was shortly speaking to Ms. Higgins about the same event." Lehrmann did not agree. And then Colin said, "I suggest to you, it seemed to you that Miss Higgins would tell Miss Brown that you had sexually assaulted her." And Lemon said, "No, that's ridiculous." It really was tense. So Collins also managed to get Lemon to admit to lying to Channel 7 Spotlight to this in the Channel 7 Spotlight interview that he was a party to, right? So that was a big deal. So after all this had happened, after the criminal trial that was then aborted and the charges were dropped, Mr. Lemon went on Channel 7, which is an opposing network, and that was him trying to show his side of the story. Now, this very good lawyer who's cross-examining him managed to get Lemon to admit to even lying then in that interview, right? So he's already caught him up in a bunch of different lies over the last few days of cross-examination. Then he manages to get him to admit to a lie even in that interview. All right. So basically admitting to a lie on direct. Yeah. Hello, Lil Pill. Nice to see ya. Isn't it good to see you here? Welcome. So the lie was in relation to the reason he gave his chief of staff for entering Parliament House after hours. So it's not a little one, it's a pretty big one. Okay. Later, it was heard that Lemon did not tell Fiona Brown, that's chief of staff, in his answer that he had gone to Parliament House to work on question time briefs. Right. So he had two stories, right? The first story was that he had gone back there to get his keys that night when he went back there with Miss Higgins. The other story was that he'd gone back there to work on question time briefs, right? So he had some work to do, right? There was even a third story that he went back to drink some whiskey. Right? So there's all these different stories that unraveled over time. Been watching out for you to go live with this one, but of course missed it by 20 minutes. That's all right. Look, honestly, Lil Pill, I've been trying to do this, and honestly, life has just gotten away with me. It's way away from me. It's been so hard. And I was just saying, if you go back to the beginning of the live stream later, you'll see it's just been really tricky because there's so much to cover. And so what I've decided is to just do it every couple of days. And I was going to even do a pre-record, to be honest with you, but it's actually nicer to do it live and have people with me. It is nice to have people with me. And I didn't even expect anyone to show up, to be honest. I thought that I'd be doing this all on my own, but it's nice having some people here. And then Dr. Collins said, "You made no reference to having been in Parliament House for any form of work-related purpose on the morning of the 23rd of March. Why not?" And then Lehrmann said, "Well, I was concerned about national security implications that stemmed from the tone of Miss Brown's meeting." Hmm, interesting theory. On Tuesday morning, okay, so moving on. Now we're on to Tuesday. Monday's done. And it obviously, Monday, again, wasn't a great day. Let's just say a day being grilled by Dr. Matthew Collins, KC, ain't a good day for anyone, pretty much. It's kind of like being grilled by your grandma about where you were when you were out with your boyfriend, right? And she saw you and the other grannies that are around like the neighborhood and they've all been looking like through their curtains, they know. And they've been chatting to grandma, right? So they know already what you've been up to. And they've been chatting on the granny network, having a bit of a little bit of a granny chat. And granny's been saying, "Look, you said that you were over with your friend Katie, but I know that you were with a boy, and don't try and lie to me about it, right? Because I'm going to tell your mum." It's a bit like that. Granny network knows everything. Just letting you know. I'm really scared of grannies, and if you try and avoid the granny network, they'll come back and get you, right? So Dr. Matthew Collins' case here is like he's like the king of the granny network. All right. Um, you're watching and listening and doing some stuff and not paying super close attention. That's cool, little Phil. You do whatever. It's just so nice to have you here. Uh, stories that all seem suspect for being at Parliament House at that time. Now that there are three of them, none carry much credence. Yeah, this is the problem. I'm bronzed. This is the problem, and this is the like Dr. Collins. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's just like he's picking up little pieces, little pieces, little pieces of little lies everywhere, and it's like Alex Murdoch. It's like, okay, so look in my eyes. Did you look in his eyes when you lied to him? Did you look at his eyes when you lied to him? Did you look in his eyes when you lied to him? And then you lied about being in the kennels, didn't you? You lied about being in the kennels. Well, it's kind of like, well, all right, so no one believes anything. It's like that. So now we're on to Tuesday. On Tuesday morning, the topic shifted to Lehrmann's reaction on the night and days following the airing of the Project TV interview. All right, now, this is where, as far as I'm concerned, this is what really matters, right? So we can pull apart all these lies about what happened on that particular night. And as far as I'm concerned, there could be lapses of memory. There was alcohol that night. It was 4 years ago, etc., etc. Even when the lies were told, it was still years ago, right? You could say that the lies were, I I was mistaken. It was foggy. My brain was foggy. No, 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 no. You can explain some of that stuff away, right? But the real issue at hand is to do with what the media did and whether or not it was defamation, because that's what this case is actually about. And the defense that they are going with is that they believed it to be substantially true what Ms. Higgins was saying, and also that they tried to contact him. Perhaps that other people were the ones to name him, and that he wasn't actually named in the interview. So therefore, did they defame him? Did they actually defame him? Hello, darling. How are you? Now it is early for you. And if it's 6:32 for or six something for Dennis, it's 2 hours earlier for you, isn't it? How weird. Anyway, um, is this Liv? Yes, it's Liv. This is so Liv. Do you want a link? It's 5 a.m. Actually, you don't need a link. You can just come in if you want to. All right. So, you know what? It's not just Liv on YouTube. It's Liv on Twitter as well. It's so Liv. Fed, how's it going? Hey. It's so much like the op-ed from Deb. It's so much like that. It's very much more like the UK trial for Deb. So when he sued the what was it, the Daily Mail? Can't remember. So yeah, it's about g'day. I love it when you say g'day. It's so cute. What's this? I am about to leave for work, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, of course you are. Oh, just ditch it. Call in sick. Tell your dad. Too bad. Anyway, I'll see you later. So we have a big stream later on. It's so much fun. Have you seen it? We are doing Dick versus EB with the bobbleheads and everything and pub quiz. It's going to be so fun. Make sure you're there, everybody. So that is at it's 8:30 a.m. Brisbane time, which is 9:30 a.m. Sydney Melbourne time, and that's 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I think I've got that. Cool. Yes, we are doing that. Right, moving on. It's a defamation case against the media. So it's not we're not supposed to be necessarily proving that he did or didn't do it. However, there is a truth defense. So in a way we kind of are, but that's not the main focus. It's about whether or not they defamed him. So Lemon stayed up all night and got home at 6:30 a.m. after the project aired, but he said in his affidavit that he went home and couldn't sleep. So I don't really see what a big deal that is. And then he said, my recollection is I went home at some point. I clearly didn't recall either going out again and coming back home. So basically, what this is all about is that when he saw the airing of that TV interview that night, he was so distressed that he went out, he didn't come home. There was some talk about him checking himself into a hospital. And then Matthew Collins is trying to say to him, no, no, that's not true. You didn't really go out. There's a text message saying that you were actually coming home at some point, and there was some back and forth about all this. And I mean, I'm a bit mixed up about what it was because this went on and on back and forth for a while. Um, I didn't really like this part of the questioning because it was like, well, he was distressed. Okay, so like I don't see how that discredits that. What difference does it make? Like if he was upset about it being aired, he was upset about it being aired. That doesn't mean he was or wasn't defamed. Really, I felt like it was a strange thing to harp on. Anyway, that's my opinion. It was then put to Lehrmann that it was actually online sources who named him, not the project or news.com.au. Dr. Collins said, so you understood when you saw this. This was an investigation that True Crime News Weekly had undertaken of your social media presence. Now, anyone who was watching us the other day, Dali and I, we brought up some exhibits that uh, Dali did quite a good dramatic reading of, one of which was this True Crime Weekly article. And it actually was apparently the first media source, and we'll say media source in quotes, to name him. So it had his photo. It said, um, exposed or unmasked the Liberal Party toff who is at the centre of the sexual assault allegations in Parliament House. And it was only a few days after this project interview was aired. Hello, greedy bloke. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, so it's true. Online sleuths did find him, right? It's true. They are right about that. However, Lehrmann said, clearly, yeah, and probably with some assistance. Collins said the article referred to Lehrmann's LinkedIn profile and other social media accounts. Hang on, I'm just going to go back. But the inference, I think, from what Lehrmann is saying there, and I'm sure on cross-examination when it does come back, sorry, on cross when it does come back, it will be said that, in fact, it's already been said earlier in the testimony, that these online accounts would not have been going after him if it hadn't have been for this television interview. And it wasn't just this television interview. There were a few others, and he's already sued a couple of other media outlets. So why would these online sleuths be looking for his name in order to expose him if it weren't for this the mainstream media putting out these stories, right? And the stories did give some pretty big hints. Let's just say that. They're very, very big hints. Okay. So then here we go again. So this is interesting. So remember on Monday morning, Ms. Chrysanthou, who is Miss Wilkinson's counsel, and she's the interviewer from the project. Miss Chrysanthou asked if she could cross-examine Mr. Lehrmann. Well, she did. She came along and cross-examined Mr. Lehrmann, so Justice Lee allowed it. He allowed it. So Chrysanthou then started the cross-examination round two. Round two. Hello, Snivels. Good to see ya. It's nice. So we're having a little sort of nighttime party for me, which is unusual. I've never streamed at this time, ever, 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 ever. So it's really interesting for me to see who kind of pops out at this time of day. Snivels is always sheltering. It's so cute when Snivels comes out. It's like shelter. Hello, hello. Okay. So Chrysanthou says that she intends to table confidential settlements. Ooh, and didn't the people online get excited when she said that confidential settlements were going to be tabled? That means that the figures that were involved in these settlements that Mr. Lehrmann has been involved with prior might become available and public knowledge because they hadn't been. Right. So he settled with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation just last week. That's the ABC over a similar case. And also, there was another piece of information which will come out just very shortly regarding his interview with Channel 7. Now, remember, I said a moment ago that he did an interview with Channel 7 after his criminal trial was aborted to tell his side of the story. And yes, when we say settlement, we also can infer that that's payment of some sort. So she wanted she was tabling with His Honour that may come out. Chrysanthou said she wanted to cross-examine Lehrmann about also any hurt feelings he claims to have, and Lee had allowed it. I don't know about any other country, and I didn't know this, but hurt feelings is a thing. Hurt feelings is a thing, right? In defamation law, hurt feelings is a thing. I actually asked a friend of mine just yesterday because I was like, so these barristers talking about testimony that goes to hurt feelings, and he's like, yeah, it's a defamation case. And I'm like, hurt feelings, really? That's a thing? Like I know, like, I've heard of it goes to state of mind. Yeah, and yeah, right, Kim. Yep, hurt feelings. I had hurt feelings today having to go to work. Yeah, exactly. I could sue for hurt feelings every day. Yeah, I just thought the term was funny, like hurt fifis. Like pain and suffering is what it's called, isn't it? Isn't it pain and suffering, not hurt feelings? It's called hurt feelings. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, "Can we call it butt hurt, please?" Please, can we call it butt hurt? I wanna change it to butt hurt. Yeah, I know. We've got these barristers all dressed up in their silks and everything, all talking to each other, all posh, like, "Oh, my learned friend this, my learned friend that." And then they go, "So, Your Honour, I wanted to question the witness on this matter because it goes to hurt feelings." And I'm like, "So what now? Don't make fun of my Fifi, Sal." Schrodinger was driving one day when he got pulled over. Cop says, "I smell weed," and then you'll have to get out while I search the car. What's what's that? Schrodinger? Who's Schrodinger? I'm missing something about that. My learned colleague. No, they even say my learned friend, and then they even drop the learned, and they go, "My friend says this, my friend says that." I'm like, "But he's not your friend. Like, you guys hate each other. It's very clear that you hate each other's guts." It's just, like, they're so passag. Oh, sorry, Americans. Passag is passive aggressive. Like, the passag, the shade. Oh, the shade. And then Chrysanthou asked Lehrmann if he remembered the day that Prime Minister Scott Morrison, or ScoMo as he's known, made an apology to those who had experienced SA or bullying, SH, sexual harassment, SA or bullying whilst working in federal parliament. This wasn't smart. Lehrmann replied, his stupid parliament speech? Yes. Oh, God. Oh dear, that might not have been the smartest thing to say, dude. His stupid parliament speech. Okay, so just to put that in context, when this all broke, when the news story broke, it all came out, um, clearly it wasn't a good look for the current government that this could happen in Parliament House, right? And it was an even worse look for the government that it was framed in such a way that when Higgins reported it to her chief of staff and to her boss, that it it was said that she was told to, or made to feel that it was a problem that should be sort of put away, right? So she was silenced, right? That's the story, that's the narrative, okay? And so that made the current government look terrible, look sexist, and look like some sort of archaic institution that is a toxic work environment for women, right? That was the portrait that was painted very clearly by this television program that night. So, what's a prime minister to do? A few days later, he made a speech in Parliament which talked about making steps to ensure that uh, this sort of thing can never happen in this workplace. So, basically, what a boss would do in a workplace where an allegation like this is made quite public. Um, and unfortunately, because of the fact that there wasn't much for people in okay, I'm going to paraphrase now what Mr. Lehrmann is putting forth, because it wasn't hard for people to put two and two together at that point, who the allegations were aimed at. Um, Mr. Morrison making the speech at this point in time um, is, I guess, making it quite clear that or making it seem like it did happen, and also putting the blame, I suppose, on him. You know? So that's that's my interpretation of what is um, why Lemon would say his stupid Parliament speech. You can, and it's so public. Like, he's the Prime Minister, right? And this is a Parliament House, and this man has not been found guilty of any crime, right? And this has all come out because of a news article, a news story on TV. Can you imagine, right? We're talking about a 20-year-old woman and a 24-year-old man, and it's just so public, and it's devastating, right? And everyone in the country is talking about it. And can you imagine the vile comments? And they still continue to this day, and they haven't stopped. Like, yes, it's a big news story today, but it's just been constant. Like, the second this man's name comes up, he's reviled. Um, what's this say, Nikki? Her feeling is the same as emotional district in IIED claims. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I have to explain. Oh, Uh, her hurt feelings is what they call emotional distress. Ah, I understand now. Right, okay, I'm just going to go back up here for a second. Cop starts searching the car. He says, "You got a dead cat in your boot." Schrodinger says, "Well, it is now." I get it now. They aren't friends unless it's Facebook official. Can we start calling it, "I'm taking my bat and ball and going home," instead of hurt feelings, if we're going to sound really silly? Yeah, I'm taking my bat and ball and I'm going home. I'm going home. As soon as I press enter, I spelled Schrodinger wrong. I knew what you meant though. I knew what Schrodinger was. I knew that. At least we know we're talking who we're talking about. And you know what? We're gonna be getting into some more stuff, so I should really put this on. Cool. Okay, moving on. All right. So regarding Channel 7's Spotlight interview with Lehrmann, he was questioned about the compensation arrangement. So Lehrmann agreed under cross-examination that Seven had paid his rent for 12 months as part of the deal. All right. So this is where Miss Chrysanthou comes in. So finally, Mr. King's counsel, um, Collins, has left the stage, and you would think that Lemon is like sighing a big sigh of relief at that point, going, "God, thank God he's gone." Right? That's been like what 2.5 days of that man tearing me to shreds, and then this woman comes along, and you can see that her and Wilkinson are great old mates, and Wilkinson has probably been his like Lemon's arch enemy for the last few years. And then, yeah, her counsel is there, and she's come along and she gets to cross examine him round two. And yep, she's gone. So, Channel 7 Spotlight interview with Lemon. He was questioned about the compensation arrangement. Lemon agreed under cross examination that Seven has paid his rent for 12 months as part of the deal. Now, this has been a huge thing on the Twitters as well. People are talking about the fact that he has been basically had a pad in Sydney looking over the harbour. I don't know how people know it's looking over the harbour or what kind of pad it is. In Sydney from June 2023 paid through to June 2024. So rather than being paid money, that's was his payment for the Channel 7 Spotlight interview. Okay. Channel 7 would have made a ton out of that interview. An absolute ton. Yeah, nice, Kim. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't know why he needs that. He said that they paid for his accommodation. I don't know why they needed to pay for his accommodation for a year. But yeah, Miss Chrysanthou really asked a lot about it though, so she was pretty keen to make sure that came out. Okay. So Collins said, okay, oh, sorry, we're going to move on to the opening statements. Right, so cross examination over. Finally, Lemon gets to step down, right? And the case in chief is done, right? So the plaintiff, case in chief, gone, done, and now it's time for the defense. And so Mr. Scratch that, Dr. Matthew Collins gets back up again, right? And we're like, oh, here we go. He said he was in the middle of moving at the time, didn't he? oh, maybe that might be why. That might be why, but still, it's a year. I don't know, but whatever. I'm kind of like, as far as I'm concerned, like he hasn't been found guilty of anything, so they can pay him whatever they want. Really, he can accept whatever payment he likes. It's He'd not been found guilty. People are just like, oh, how dare he accept anything? So many people have made money out of this thing. So many people have made money out of this thing. It's out of control how many people have made money out of this thing. P.S. I ain't monetized. I'm not making any money out of this, guys. And I'm saying this out to Twitter right now, right? Because I'm sure there are people out there watching this on Twitter or will be watching this back on Twitter who are going to be hating on me because I'm not saying you're guilty, 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 and he's so bad, right? Um, I ain't making any money out of this. Zero, right? And there are some other people like bloggers and things like that who are monetized, and independent journalists, stuff like that, who just seem to be making money out of calling him all sorts of names, um, and riding the bandwagon. So, no, that's not what this is about at all. All I care about is people getting justice and real justice. And that's really the only reason I'm covering it at all. And it's taking a lot of my time. Um, and I'm super disappointed that I can't share the actual trial with people live. That's another thing about it, really, to be honest, um, that I didn't realize until this moment in time that we are so um, gagged, I suppose. We can't talk about what's happening in the judicial process, the way we can with US trials. I just didn't realize that it was quite like this. Um, yeah, really disappointed about it. Anyway, um, so I have to sort of step back and just go, look, everything's just an opinion, only an opinion, nothing to do with me, and just, yeah, be really, really careful what I say. Free speech. Okay, so I'm just going to say now that um, the opening statements by the defense, Dr. Matthew Collins, KC, were incredible. This man is the most, I've seen some impressive lawyers. This guy, wow, wow. Like, I I thought I had a fair idea what defamation was until I heard what this guy had to say. And then I was like, you know what? I think I think Lehrmann might lose this. I think he might lose it, actually, because what he spells out as to the reasons why this case shouldn't get up purely based on the defamation laws. Okay, cool. Yeah, there were a few things he put forth that I thought were like, why are you even bringing that in? Um, he, he's bringing in a lip reader to look at the CCTV footage, which to me is like, that brings down my opinion of the whole defense. Like, why are you doing that? That uh, that decision is beyond me. I don't get that at all. Um, yeah, but I'll just go through a little bit of this. So Collins said Lehrmann's case was misconceived and bound to fail for a number of reasons. Ten's interview was an important exercise in public interest journalism, and it stands behind its report. Let's see. So Collins said 10 would call more than 20 supporting witnesses, including a media advisor, Lauren Gain, who would allege Lemon touched and passionately kissed, that means, Higgins on the night of the alleged offence. She was present at the 88 miles per hour bar. So that was the bar that they were at before the party split up, and Higgins and Lemon went in an Uber together and went off to Parliament House. So if there was an eyewitness who will get up there and say, no, I saw them, they were together, and there actually was physical contact between them, and Lemon has stated all along that no, there was none, that might change things a little bit. Hey, Christine, how are you? Good to see you. Collins again texted a person in Reynolds' office on March 23rd. Now, March 23rd was the day that Higgins was found naked in the office, right? So she was found naked in the office very early in the wee hours of the morning. And then obviously Ms. Gain saw her late the night before at the 88 miles per hour bar. And so Gain texted somebody the next day and said, Brittany hooked up with Bruce. I don't know if you guys in America use the term hooked up, but that means slept with, or even just made out with, or something like that. Collins also stated the respondents' witness list included 3 experts, including a toxicology expert and a lip reader. So with a toxicology expert, he spoke about at the time of the alleged incident, the weight, height, and the weight and height of Ms. Higgins, and the amount of alcohol that she had consumed, and therefore the blood alcohol level that she would have been at the time that she had arrived at Parliament House. So therefore, whether she would have even been able to provide consent. Collins' opening was followed by further statements by Ms. Wilkinson's counsel. Basically, Dr. Collins was very emphatic about the fact that there was no naming of the plaintiff in the project news report. They tried to contact him, and he didn't want to be a party to, or he didn't respond. But even if he had responded, that would have given even more likelihood that he could have been identified. So why would he respond, basically? And regardless, the tone of the interview was about the workplace environment, and about the fact that women shouldn't be feeling that they can't report these things. And so that is a public service. And if you can't, if the media can't report on things like that, then there really is no right of the press, I suppose. So it was a very interesting opening statement, and it made me really wonder, like, does he have a point? As a good opening statement should. The lip reader can rate the pad. That is so good, Kim. That's comment of the day. Isn't it about knowingly false stuff like that as well? Okay, so yeah, so I think I know what you're saying, greedy bloke. Yeah. The other thing that Dr. Collins did say is that they had Ms. Higgins sign a sworn statement saying that everything that she was saying to the network was true. And so therefore the network believed that what they were putting forth was true, right? So they weren't publicizing anything that they did not believe to be true, right? So therefore, how can they be liable for defamation when they were only reporting on something that this person coming to them had signed and said that what I'm saying is true, and so therefore the interviewer and the network believed it was true. And they had gone to effort to contact the parties involved, and they had not named him, and they'd done it within a period of time, which in reporting world, and it's not very long, it was only like a day or something like that, but in reporting time, um, was timely, right? It's a scoop, so you don't give too much time as far as they're concerned, for someone to respond and say, "Oh no, I want to tell my side of the story." Um, and no, he didn't come back. And Lehrmann did say at some point that no, well, they didn't really try that hard to get hold of me. They used an email address I hadn't used in 2 years and things like that. But there were many things that Dr. Collins said that he used to exonerate Network 10 from any wrongdoing. Yeah, that's what you were trying to ask, Rudy, but good, good. I'm glad I could clear that up. Okay. Collins also stated the respondent's witness list includes your experts. Oh, I've already done this. Yes, now I'm moving on. Now, get this. Get this. Wilkinson's counsel got to do her own opening statement as well. This is not Lisa Wilkinson's trial. This woman, this woman, right? This is not her trial. She is suing Network 10 for not covering her legal bills because Network 10 has said to her, lady, you've done stuff on your own in this to this man, right? Whatever. So we're not actually going to cover your legal bills. I think it's $700,000 or something like that in legal fees. So she's also suing Network 10, right? Now, there is another defamation case by Lehrmann to straight to her, right? So she has a case that she has to answer to Lehrmann, right? So she's in court and she's a witness in this case, and so she is being represented by this lady, Sue Crescento, and Sue Crescento's come along and gone, please can I cross-examine Mr. Lehrmann? And also then she's gone, please can I do my own opening statements as well? But it's not her trial. It's very strange. But the reasoning for it, and she had to spell out her reasoning, otherwise His Honour was like, no, right? And her reasoning for it is that she's got stuff that she wants to say and have brought out, um, that might not be brought out by Dr. Collins, right? And that will impact future proceedings that will affect her client. It does seem odd, Snibbles. It does seem very odd. But His Honour, Justice Lee has been very, very accommodating. Very accommodating. You've never been fond of Lisa? I'm glad you said that, Kim. That that's putting it mildly for me, right? I've pretty much had about enough of Lisa B. Wilkinson, and I don't know if B is actually her middle initial. I just gave it to her. No, she's not a party. Well, not in this trial, right? She's a party, but not, like, specifically here. Yeah, it does. It's yeah. 'Cause she conspired with Britney before the interview was in my yeah. Oh, she could yeah. There's audio showing her conspiring. I don't trust very many involved in mainstream media, Kim, let alone them. Nah. And this is the thing, like, ah, I feel like this woman, Lisa, she she had this 20-year-old, I don't wanna call her a girl because she's a woman, but she had this 20-year-old woman come to her, and I feel like she should have discouraged her from going public, not encouraged her. I really do. I feel like she should have said to her, "You should go through these channels," and she should have helped her go through those channels rather than have have I feel like she used her for her own gain. That's what I feel like. And in return, it's really kind of ruined her life. Yeah, I don't like it. I do not like it one little bit. Mm. Mainstream, what's it say? Mainstream seems to be about the scoop and not the truth. Yep, yep, yep. And listen, you know what? I am going to post now this. Where is it? If you want to listen to that audio I was just talking about, it is all in this link. Okay, so go and have a listen. If you want to hear Lisa Wilkinson talking to Brittany when she was just 21 or so, it was yeah, well, she would have been about 21, so it was a year or so after the alleged incident. Her talking to her with some other media people in a restaurant for 5 hours about how to break this story. It's all in there. So yeah, you see what you think of her after that. Anyway, moving on. Also, in the opening statements round two, Chrysanthou defined the suit as an all or nothing identification case, that Lehrmann was identified by 10 as the alleged rapist. She said his case would fail if he was only identified as one of a small group of people who could possibly have been him. Right, so basically, if the Network 10, the project episode, was not was not definitive about who he was, then the case is might as well be thrown out. Okay, righto. All right, so that was that. That was the opening statements. Now on Tuesday, there's Miss Higgins. She managed to get up on stand just for about 5 minutes because the opening statements went for so long, and she just gave some evidence about her background before being excused for the day. All right, that was Tuesday. Now, I'm not going to say much about Wednesday, which is today, my time. For the Americans, you're just starting Wednesday, aren't you? It's just Wednesday for you. All right, so Wednesday is today, and today, grueling, horrible, just nasty. Miss Higgins on the stand all day. She was being examined by Dr. Matthew Collins, KC, and it was direct, so it wasn't him tearing it to shreds like he was with Mr. Lehrmann. So Higgins was examined by Dr. Collins on direct over the incident in a day of intense testimony, and I'm not going to discuss it in detail, only some key points rather than the testimony of a graphic nature. Higgins told the court she remembered Lemon being handsy at the nightclub. Higgins said she was very drunk and she thought Lemon was going to drop her home, but he said he had to go to Parliament House first to pick something up. She said she was by herself on a window ledge for a period of time in the ministerial suite, wondering where Lemon was and wanting to go home. Higgins then gave graphic testimony of the alleged essay. This is available on many media outlets. I ain't showing it to you. I ain't giving it to you. Go find it. It's very easy to find. Yeah, no. Yeah, nah, as us Aussies say. Yeah, nah. All right. Higgins has told the court Bruce Lemon left her on the couch in the minister's office and she could not physically get herself off the couch. She woke up hours later and she was still on the couch. Higgins stated on the Monday after the alleged assault, Lemon was acting so normal. She then began to describe telling the Chief of Staff, Fiona Brown, about the incident. Now, this is a point of conjecture. So, Fiona Brown, Chief of Staff, she's the one who also had words with Mr. Lehrmann and supposedly gave him some sort of reprimand about security breaches. Now, this is their boss, and that is Linda Reynolds. She's the defense minister at the time. Now, later, she spoke of being, I was talking about Miss Higgins now. Later, Higgins spoke of being traumatized when meeting with Ms. Brown and her then boss, Minister Linda Reynolds, in the very office where the alleged assault occurred. Now, this is quite a famous, or well-known anecdote, and that is that allegedly this meeting occurred in this office, not only in this office, but Higgins was sitting on the couch mentioned. Higgins stated, I was pretty traumatized being back in that room. I don't remember specific words she said other than those sort of 4 key phrases that I really hold on to. And sorry, I don't have the 4 key phrases here. I think that they were ones that I didn't want to repeat. Higgins told the court that Senator Linda Reynolds began avoiding going to events with her or speaking to her. She actively avoided me and didn't even like being in a room with me. Okay, so here's where I have a little bit of a problem. I feel like she may be right. Higgins may be right, but this is also perception, and it's casting casting this lady here in a very negative light. It's making it seem like this lady here has no empathy for Miss Higgins, that she's done a terrible thing. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And this was used as a political volleyball, whatever people like to call it. This was used as something that helped to bring down the government at the time. So basically, this lady, there's another lady named Michaela Cash, who Miss Higgins went and moved to. Michaela Cash is another minister, so Higgins moved to Michaela Cash's employ, and that was where she eventually resigned from. So those 2 ministers copped a lot of criticism for supposedly hushing up this whole situation. Um, and yeah, it was very, very much, um, yeah, it was very much about the narrative that was spread by the media. Um, maybe I'll say by the accused, by the accuser, but more by the media. I think that the media more beat it up. Um, was that these ministers and potentially the entire party were um, like trying to quieten her down and make it out like nothing had happened, right? And I don't know if that's the case, right? So again, it's a matter of can you prove these allegations, because they're very serious, right? They're very, very serious, and um, yeah, to take like um, something that's happened to a 20-year-old and a 24-year-old, and to use that to then play political games, and also to make money out of media stories. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And assuming that this did occur, there's this woman who's quite traumatized, and to try and use it to play political, have political point scoring, just I think it's very wrong. Anyway, moving on. Oops. Yeah, you're right, Kim. It is in poor taste. It is in poor taste. But also, we don't know whether or not it was stated that that was the case. We don't know whether or not Higgins had actually told these two ladies that it occurred there, or that it was on that. We don't know, right? There's things we don't know. So yes, if she was made to have a meeting in that room, and she had made them aware that uh, this assault had occurred in that room, then yes, that's in terrible taste. I agree, but we don't know. I don't think that those questions have been asked. I haven't seen those questions asked, and I certainly haven't seen these the minister, the chief of staff, or the other minister. But actually, the other minister is irrelevant to this. I haven't seen this minister or the chief of staff questioned on that. They may have been, but I haven't seen it. So it's interesting because it's like people like to assume, because they're very angry about this, and they're like, of course he did it, of course this happened, you have to believe the accuser. And I believe in listening to the accusations and the words of somebody who is hurting. Absolutely, I believe in listening to them and taking their words and investigating them. Absolutely. So never get me wrong on that. I absolutely believe in that. Um, and I think that if the police did not investigate this properly, then that is wrong, right? That is absolutely wrong. Um, if anyone did try to quieten this, that is wrong. Um, but what I don't like is people trying to make money out of it, people trying to exploit others because of it. And and people trying to use it for political gain. I don't like any of those things. And I certainly don't like the fact that now we're at a point where there is a man who will never, ever have a fair criminal trial. We will never know. We'll never be able to say, is he guilty or not guilty in a criminal sense? And here we are, all talking about a civil, um, a civil case, and going back over this, and people are making judgments as to whether or not he is guilty or not guilty based on the balance of probabilities rather than beyond reasonable doubt. Now, we are only a week in, and this thing is supposed to go for about 3 weeks, and the defense said that they have 20 witnesses. And apparently, those witnesses are um, a lot of people from the staff that surrounded Mr. Lehrmann and Miss Higgins, so people they knew. There's some experts. There's lots of sort of text messages and phone calls and things like that. So it's going to get more interesting for sure. And Miss Wilkinson, I am looking forward to Lisa Wilkinson getting up on that stand, and I'm looking forward to her getting cross-examined. Tell you that. Bring it on. And Wybrow, I like Stephen Wybrow. He's a good barrister too. Yeah. So I would like to know why what made Miss Wilkinson think that it was okay to go ahead with this story. And I think that Wybrow has some things on Miss Wilkinson and on the Network 10 executives, the executive producer of the show as well. He has some good questioning to give to the executive producer. So there's definitely a lot more to come. Hello, David. No, you got no notice. I know. I just decided to do it because time runs out, and tomorrow morning my time, or tomorrow evening your time, evening, yeah, afternoon, evening your time, I'm doing with Dali, Dick versus EB. Yay, with the pub quiz. So gotta do these things when you can do them. And I've had so many great people here tonight. It's been awesome. I've had lots of fun. And Christine's got 99 subscribers. You've almost got 100, Christine. Everyone, anyone who hasn't subscribed to Christine, quick, let's do this on my channel now. Let's do this on my channel now. Quick, someone, anyone who hasn't subscribed to Christine, subscribe to Christine now. Hang on. Link. Who's got a link to Christine? Hey, Sean Bird, have you subscribed to Christine? Kim, you're talking about Lisa Wilkinson now, right? Yeah, she does have a face like that. Yep. Quick, who hasn't subscribed to Christine? Let's get 100 subscribers for Christine right now. Let's go. I'm not stopping the stream until we get 100 subscribers for Christine. How are you, David? How are you? Maybe we can make this happen. We can make this happen. We can make it happen. Has anyone got a link for Christine? David, have you got a link for Christine? You're a mod. We got it. Yay! Congratulations! Oh, yeah, Christine! It happened on my stream. Whoopee! Yay! I'm so happy. Well done, Christine. Oh, there it is there. Everyone, anyone else who hasn't subscribed to Christine, go subscribe now. There's a link there. Yay! Now you need to have 100 party, Christine. That's amazing. So now, does that mean you can live stream from your phone? Oh, from your iPad? You needed 100. Oh, you make 101, Kim? Yay! You needed 100 for some reason, didn't you, Christine? I can't remember what the reason was. There was a reason. Can't remember. You passed 100 this morning too. Congratulations, Nikki. Well done. Ah, that's so cool. That is so cool. Yay! Everyone's having all these milestones. It's fantastic. Yay! Ah, look. Oh, we all new to this. We're all new to this. None of us are Mr. Beast. None of us are Mr. Beast. All right, that's fantastic news. Now, I'm just going to pop a couple of links up. So I already popped up the first of the 7 News Spotlight links. I'm going to pop up the second one. So does it count if I feel 100 this morning? What do you mean if you feel 100? Did you miss much? Yeah, you missed heaps on Bronzed. You'll have to go back and watch it again because I need the watch hours, love. So just chuck it on and then just watch it again and then just chuck it on and watch it again whilst you're asleep and then watch it again whilst you're asleep. 100 years. Okay, so that's the second of this is actually Bruce Lehrmann's interview with Channel 7 Spotlight. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Alrighty, and the other thing I wanted to just post whilst you're all here is tomorrow's or today's, if you're in the US. Hello, John. How's it going? Good to see you, hun. Just about to finish up, love. Tomorrow's live stream on the Federal Court of Australia's YouTube right now. So pop yourself over there and turn the notification on so that you can see it. It's really good to watch. Even I'm in bed with you, oh baby. It's really good to watch, even if you only watch an hour or so of it. It's just really interesting, and you'll start to say, "Oh, my learned friend over there is speaking out of turn." And Your Honor, I think my learned friend over here has added too much time to his testimony. You'll start to say my learned friend, and really, I need to really incorporate my learned friend in everyday shade. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to do was tomorrow's live stream, braces silence. Oh yeah, follow me on Twitter. Please. And this is pretty much it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Today. Just fixing something up so that I can actually post it. There we go. Yes. So this one here. Finally, it's showdown we've been waiting for. Mr. Eric Bobblehead E.B. Bland goes head to head. Oh, I cut it off too much. Doesn't matter. He's going head to head with Dick Harpootlian, and none of the sad stuff, only the shade and the spice and the bubbles. And that is tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Also 8:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and that's 9:30 a.m. I believe if you're in Sydney, Melbourne, all those southern states. But yeah, 5:30 p.m. Eastern US. Yay! There'll be a pub quiz. There's going to be Dali with his impressions. There's going to be bobbleheads. There's going to be Alex Murdoch. it's just gonna be too much fun for words. It's probably gonna be just as the court day ends, like, after Young Thug and all that other kind of stuff happens, so it's gonna be the bubble off of the century. Yes, Nibbles, the bubble off of the century. Yes. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please, if you're going to bed or if you're going to just sit and work all day, chuck one of my streams on, put it in a tab in the background, please, because I need watch hours. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I love you all. You're wonderful. Oh, you've been practicing your EB? Very good. Yes, Dali has an EB impression. EB. Lunch. Awesome. I keep forgetting what time of day it is for you, greedy bloke, but you're like halfway in between. You're like the in between time zone. Like I'm night, USA's morning, you're in between. Have a good evening, everyone. That's Kim. Yes. Love is all. It's so nice that you guys turned up. I didn't think I'd have anyone here tonight. I thought I would just be all on my lonesome and I'd just run the thing and then I'd be like, people go rewatch it. But this has been so nice having you all to talk to. Oh my God, really? Am I going to actually die right now? No way. No way. Really? Okay, give me 5 seconds, guys. 5 seconds and I lol. If I had shut the stream down like 2 minutes ago, that wouldn't have happened and I would have got through the whole thing. Okay, never mind. Now it's time for me to say goodnight and bye, sheltering snibbles. Love you all. I'm random. You're random. Yes, you are. Okay, time to say goodnight. Time to say goodnight and bye.